Hello and welcome to the darklang overview. My name is Maxim from Reify Academy, and we're going to look today at how to use Datastore. So as you might notice, they have this Datastore thing in Dark if you play it with the canvas by itself. So what you can do is you can just add this, and this is a very simple key value Datastore. So it's nothing, you can't even do relationships at this stage. It's very simplistic at this stage. So let's say we have a customers database, so we can rename this. And this customer has a name and it has a phone number, which is a string. And we're going to use REPL this time, so we can kind of make it easier. So REPL, the only difference is the same code, but instead of having an HTTP request, you just run it here with pressing this button and you will see the results instantly. So it just makes it a bit easier. So if we want to add, you can see all the methods here, they're all within DB section. And if we want to set add a new customer or update a new customer, we use one method called set. So the set allows us to set the values, and it allows us to set the keys and allows us to set the table. I do recommend to set the table first, because as soon as you do this, you will see it appear here with a handy way to see all the fields that we need to fill. The key is pretty simple. We have this db generate key, as you can see, the one highlighted for us, and the dictionary that we need to supply here is all the fields. So we cannot supply just one field, we need to supply all the fields. So if we try to supply just, let's say, one field, and we try to run this, you will see that it will tell us expected but did not find phone. So we do need to add the phone, which let's say is 0000. If you don't want to have a phone, let's say for some reason you don't have a phone yet from customers, they didn't give you the phone, you do need to put a null here, and then if we run this, you will actually see, like whenever you click on this, it usually shows you the latest entry. Oh, here you go, it was just loading. The latest entry is Jack with the phone null. So this key is different every time. So if we run this again, I believe we're going to get 2 entries now. Yes, we have 2 entries now and another Jack with the phone number. What I prefer is when I work with databases is to have another REPL just to make sure that I can see everything. So if when we have this REPL, and apparently it got stuck, so I'm just going to refresh the page. Okay. So if I do delete get all, which allows us to get all the objects that we have in this database, and just run this, you will see we have 2 Jacks with different phone numbers. You'll notice that this log changed. So what this means is that I cannot modify the schema anymore. As you can see, I cannot add anything. For now, like in the future, this will actually work. This doesn't work yet. I cannot even type here. I think it's disabled until the feature is ready. So until this feature is ready, make sure that whatever data you're storing in this database is not production data, because you won't be able to change schema. If you want to add a column, so I'll show you an example of, let's say we want to add a column here, like is admin boolean field. The only way we can do it right now is we need to delete everything, and then we can add a field, and then it's fine. If we had a production database, that would not be okay, right? If you delete all the data. So for production, use something else, which Shell provides a HTTP interface that you can use from Dark directly. And I use it primarily for cache data, or the data that I can easily recover. So I can run a function which just restores this database, for example. And as you can see, if I run this again, now it expects us to have isAdmin. So let's put some phone number here. And we put isAdmin to false, for example. Again, it's going to be null here. I believe null is getting removed from the language, so it might not work the same way in the future versions, but that is how it works for now. So this sets the isAdmin flag, and again, the same thing happens here. It's get locked and we cannot do anything. one thing is how to update this, because we don't actually have an update function. We only have an set function. So whenever you're trying to set, you need the key. And as you might notice, all the gets, they all have get all with keys and get all. So they're all duplicated with a separate function called with keys. Then it will return you an object which will have the key and then an object with the value inside. And the easiest way to work with this, so let's say you want to make all the customer admins, for example, so we can so let's say you want to make all the customer admins. What we can do is we can wrap this in let and call this, let's say, non-admins. And then we can do a dictionary map, which allows us to grab a dictionary. And then, so this is the first time we're seeing this lambda thing. So lambda is an anonymous function, as you can say, it's telling you this, which essentially allows you to create a function within, so you don't need to create a separate function. It's very similar to how you do it in other languages like JavaScript or Ruby. In Dark, when you select lambda, you just need to press enter, and it will automatically expand to this lambda syntax. So for this lambda, we have a key and we have a value. And if you're not sure what the key is, you just type it. See, it shows us. And then the value, it again shows us what the value is. So to actually update, what we need to call is dbSet. And as before, we need to pass the customers here. So we get our handy completion there. As the key, we pass the key that we have. And if we want to change something, we cannot pass just that part. We always need to pass all of the data, and that's why we need to use dict map. So when we're doing something like this, we can do a merge. And merge allows us to take one dictionary and merge it with the other one. So value, all of this data is existing one, and the data on the right will take precedence. So if we have any fields that we want to override, we just put them here, and we say admin is true. And this will, when we run this will essentially override. The easiest way to see this, like I prefer to have a separate REPL, we just have db get all and just have customers here, because it's easiest way to see all of them, not just the last entry. And as you can see, is admin is still false because this is true for some reason. Yeah, it didn't work. Okay. So keep in mind, if you have a red stuff, it doesn't actually work. It's kind of pointing to you that your compilation didn't work. So as you can see now, we have is admin true. So that's how you update stuff with the same function that we did insert with. It's essentially an upsert function, but you need to make sure that you merge it with the previous values. So you keep whatever is there before, and then you put the thing there. And to delete, as you saw me doing the delete before, we just did delete all, but the same way you can do delete. And delete is only possible with a key. So if you want to find something first, you can do a query 1 with key. So let's say you want to find, whoops, that looks strange. Let's say you want to find some customer by name, or let's say name is Jack, same person, right? So this will give you just one record for the Jack. So if Jack is not there, and we get Jill, for example, we actually get error rail. And as you remember, if you want to handle this, you take it off rail, and then you do the match. And if it's nothing, then you don't delete it. And if it's something, then you can go and delete it, and you will have the key. So if we put Jack there again, you will see the key here. And again, you can use the same exact mechanism with dict map here to map over the dictionary, get the key and the value. Even so, it's dictionary of one field, it still works the same way. So it makes your code easier to understand instead of using different methods. And in the next video, we're going to look at how to factor your code into functions. It's very nice and easy when the code is only 5 lines, but as your code gets more and more complicated, we would like to have some kind of ways to have pieces of related code together. So for this we can use functions, and we're going to look at this in the next video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.